if I saw another day, only to scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, taking off without the same mistake. Darling, when you go away, it won't be as simple for you.
Can't hate. I can't hate. I can't hate. I can't hate. Yo, guys! It is Old Man G here, back again with another match reaction. It is obviously the first semi-final of the World Cup, and we have our first finalist, and it is Argentina. It is Messi's Argentina through to the World Cup final 2022, and it's in the title, guys. Like I said, I can't hate. I can't hate. He is, and it just seems like destiny is aligning for this guy, because everyone knows that if Messi wins the World Cup, it's over. It's over. There's no debates about GOAT status or anything like that and what was achieved. If Messi wins the World Cup, he is officially the greatest of all time. There's no doubt about that. Sharto is watching in the comments as well. Ilias says, you got two accounts. You wait for Mafia from Star is rigged Argentina to win World Cup. You see, well, I did it from the start. You wait for champions. You wait for hate. Let's see. I mean, I won't go that far. Let's keep it a stack. Messi's just been so good. I would have thought that, to be honest, if they're going to rig it, they'd rig it in favor of Morocco, with the whole Qatar sort of thing. Yes, okay, there have been certain decisions have been a bit off, especially in the Netherlands in game, but in this game, Argentina were just too good. Argentina were just too good for Croatia. And despite the fact that Croatia had obviously a lot of possession, they had loads of possession, had the ball, controlled the game. I think obviously giving away the penalty was giving away that penalty was what changed the game. Argentina almost resorted to, I think for the first goal, when Alvarez was through and then the keeper took him down, it was almost like a long ball, essentially. Long ball over the top, puff, Alvarez is through, and then the keeper clatters him, and it's a penalty. It's a penalty. Even though he tries to attempt to go overboard, it's a penalty. And I think that, because I think in this World Cup, if I recall, I don't think, and I could be wrong, I don't think Croatia have actually been down in this World Cup. Well, so they were down against, they were down against Japan, they were down against Brazil 1-0. And so you're thinking, okay, maybe they can come back from it. But the second goal basically killed them off. And unfortunately, this is the problem that happens when you conceded first. It's if they'd gone to half time, I think, with 1-0, then I think maybe they would have stood a chance. But the reality is that they ended up they couldn't do it. They couldn't last the second. They couldn't last the second half, and 2-0 down over another brilliant goal by Julian Alvarez, like a nice, almost like solo goal from him. I mean, the goals were great. The goals were really, really, really good. I just can't. I don't know what happened to Croatia today. Like I said, defensively, for the first goal, they were all over the place. The second goal, don't know what happened. Maybe it was tired or something, but defensively, they still held the ball, but you saw the reality of the lack of a true number 9. And I think that was the difference in this game. And I've said this a lot of times in this World Cup, that the key in this World Cup has been the consistency of having number 9. In this case, Julian Alvarez was that number 9 for Argentina today. But generally speaking, you know, that number 9 presence, you know, up top, finishing, etc., that is actually key. That's key. It's been key in this tournament. And the teams that have lacked that finesse, that cutting edge, have suffered. And that's why, ironic enough, I think you're going to, because I think France will beat Morocco. It's going to be a situation where you're going to have Giroud, who's the number 9, i.e. for France, versus Alvarez, the number 9 for Argentina. You know, Esme says, "Yo, what's up? How are you doing, buddy? RDSSB or Croatia were joking." And they were Croatia, but they didn't today. It was almost like they didn't have a plan B, and you know, this is where someone like Mandzukic would have been useful back in the day, where you're like, right, okay, long block, because because you know, looking at this game, aside from that, we'll talk about the brilliant individual brilliance that Messi did, because he is at this point in time, he is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. The only way Messi can't be the GOAT is if he spectacularly disappears and fails in the final. But at the end of the day, you know, Argentina, you know, Croatia had a lot of control of the game in terms of the midfield battle, and you can see they had a lot of the possession of the ball. But the problem is that when you have that midfield, it can be bypassed, and France did this effectively to England in the previous game as well. Have all the possession, possession football is dead. Basically, possession football is dead, because at the end of the day, if you can just bypass it with like a Griezmann pass, a long ball, etc., and then suddenly you're running at those centre backs, and those centre backs don't have any pace, or if they're sort of out of position or expecting it, you're gonna it's just not gonna work. It's just not, and that's what happened a few times against Argentina versus Croatia. It's like, okay, yeah, have the ball, but as soon as you win it back, ping it up to Alvarez, ping up to Messi, let them run, let them do something, and see what happens effectively. Although Argentina adding the young bucks, it did. I think it did. UEFA said, let form star, let Argentina lose to Saudis, restrict the world ends. Yes, that's exactly. I'm sure that's exactly what UEFA said. That's exactly what UEFA said. I still don't think he's a GOAT for me, but that's a comment for a different day. Yeah, I mean, I know, but I think it's even I, as someone who is quite critical of Messi from time to time, even I have got to sort of admit that if he does, you know, because he's had a very good tournament. That's the other key thing. Like, it's not like he's just sort of a passenger. Like, he has had a solid tournament. And the reality is that if he wins the World Cup, it's because he's made a significant contribution to the World Cup. Just like, for example, if Giroud wins the World Cup with France again, then there needs to be a conversation about Giroud. You know, Mbappe, you know, I don't think Mbappe's necessarily had the best World Cup compared to, say, Messi or even Giroud. But, you know, those conversations are for another day. But, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. Shout out to Sports Capital. Big up, bro. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. And Eddie as well. Hope you're doing well. Be good to get you back on when we... Oh, man. I'm dreading the league starting again. I mean, man, it literally... We're back to league football from next week. We are back to league football from next week, because next week, Carabao Cup game against Burnley, and then the Boxing Day, we are back with a Boxing Day special. So there you go. So I didn't even read the thing. RDS, big up as usual. I'm liking the title. Messi's goated. He made Grivaldio look like, yeah, he did destroyed the guy, man. That's part. I mean, we could talk about that now. He just, jeez, man. He sat him down and sent him for a biscuit, man. It was bad. It was bad. Very, very bad. I'm going to get to SMB's point in a second, actually. But yeah, that's what we're talking about, goated, man. I just, like, when you see and it's the same thing when I saw the pass for Messi for the first goal against Netherlands, I was like, geez, that's ridiculous. The only reason why I didn't like the situation was how Argentina like played like after the event. You know, they were quite negative. Oh, so many people watching. Make sure you like the vid, and subscribe if you if it goes a long way. Please like the vid, and get involved in chat. In fact, I probably will put up a poll whether people think that Messi will actually win the World Cup. So let me know in the chat. Let me know in the poll. Do you think Messi will win the World Cup? I wish you could do polls on your phone, but anyway. But yeah, at the end of the day, like you can't hate you can't hate this guy. Like I can't hate this Messi dude. I like, you know, it's not he's just sorry. He's just that good. He's just that good, and to be doing that, I mean, obviously, you know, Ronaldo was doing his thing um at that age, at 34, 35 in the Champions League, but we've been waiting for Messi to come up clutch in the international stage. I'm not counting Copper. I'm not, you know, ghosted in the final. Di Maria tax. What's his name? Martinez tax. Emiliano Martinez tax. Because Emiliano Martinez is part of the reason why Argentina are where they are, because of just how good he is in nets. He's such a commanding presence, and I will talk about that. You know, so because I think that as much as we praise Messi, and I think obviously Messi is GOAT at this point. You know, he has been playing for Argentina for goodness knows how long. And I do think that one of the reasons why he is where he is, why Argentina are where they are, is because of the improved defense, but also because of the goalkeeper. 100% absolute. It's because of that. It's because that it has to be because of that. Because the confidence that Emi Martinez gives to the back line, because of his presence, especially when it comes to penalty shootouts, that reverberates through the rest of the team. You know, a lot of times when Messi has failed recently, especially at Barcelona, is because of the lack of confidence in the defense and in the goalkeeping, and he doesn't have that right now. So he's free to go and do what he needs to do. I think that, you know, I mean, let's keep it a stack. I think that if Morocco beat France, Argentina winning this thing, because Argentina have slowly but surely stepped up their likes, stepped up their. Oh man, over 60 people watching. Man, guys, like the vid. If you're watching on YouTube, please engage. It helps the algorithm and it helps this channel gets up in places. So please engage, like, share, subscribe, what have you. Even if it's a down like or whatever, it's fine. Just engage in the video. It helps with the algorithm. But yeah, you know, because I just can't see. I mean, Morocco probably could be maybe a bit better defensively than Croatia today, but they just don't have that. And Amrabat would have to deliver a masterclass, but they just don't have that number 9 that we're saying. Remember, the number 9, that the use of that number 9 is key, is absolutely key. And I don't think Croatia actually. Sorry, I don't think Morocco would actually have that. Now, France versus, I'll look at the comments a second. France versus Argentina. Now, that will be interesting. Because I do think that Argentina's defense and keeper is better, but France obviously have the lethal attack. France do have the lethal attack. They have a much, much more lethal attack than Argentina do. And I think that ball in the air to Giroud could be an Achilles heel for France, but we'll see what happens. Oh, over 9 people. Make sure you like the video, guys. Like the video and subscribe. SMB says, I can't tell if Scalini's good. This is the thing. I don't know if he is either. It's like, are Argentina winning this because of individual wins, because of the players, because of Scaloni's tactics? I don't know. I can't tell, because I don't think anyone is like, wow, if Argentina win the World Cup, Scaloni is a fantastic coach. Like, no one's saying that. So yeah, it's very difficult to see. And I think that's probably because Argentina have not really been, because when they lost against Saudi Arabia, you didn't see, what did you see from him? Whereas I think that you know, since that first game, they've not really been in that position, if that makes any sense. Nice one, RDS. Will be nice to catch up with you. Yeah, again, and for those who are watching, make sure you head over and subscribe to Eddie's Football Waffles channel. Posts a lot of good content on there, World Cup rating stuff. Please do. Please head over. It would definitely mean a lot, guys. Please head over. The problem with me is the quality of goals during this World Cup run. Do you mean in terms of how they've been scored? Because there've been some good G's. There've been some good G's. Messi will now be the GOAT for me because UEFA has well, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Like the vid, exactly. Says everyone like the vid. Please like the vid. Like the vid. We've got quite a few people watching, guys. If you like the vid and you like the content, please like it. It does go a long way. RDS, how do you beat Argentina? That's what I'm wondering, because you started a bit on Argentina, had a lot of chances, one of the better team for most. I'll tell you how you beat Argentina. You do a Netherlands. It's crossing, inshallah. It literally is. Like as soon, and that's why I don't really understand why. I don't really understand why Van Gaal didn't actually play. Van Gaal didn't play Weghorst initially, because as soon as Weghorst came on, that big, tall, 6 foot, the defenders couldn't handle. They struggled. Argentina struggled. You need a tall, big number 9 that can boss defenders and then just ping crosses in. That's as soon as he came on, Netherlands were like direct. Tall target man, and they couldn't cope. That's why I think that the Giroud thing will be interesting, because Giroud is basically a target man. And if it's a France versus, that's why I think Morocco-Argentina win. France-Argentina will be interesting, because how do France play it? Do they try and counterattack with Mbappe, which might cause them problems, because obviously I don't think the Argentine fullbacks are that quick? Or do they, in my opinion, they should go direct, get the ball to Griezmann, and then ping it into Giroud, pass the centre backs, get your set pieces in. Giroud will win the ball in the air against the Argentina defenders. He will, because that's what he's good at. That's just what he's good at. Messi, Akbar from Facebook. Shout out to those who are watching on Facebook as well, by the way, guys. So there's quite a few watching Facebook, so shout out to you guys. But also, a lot of you watching on YouTube, so please just hit that like button and subscribe. Messi, GOAT, end of debate. Yeah, I can't debate that. Big up says Nah, thank you, Nah, for joining in. France versus Argentina will be a tough game, not Morocco. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think France versus Argentina will probably be the final. I think that Morocco, it'd be great for an African team to come to the, but I just don't see how Morocco beat this Argentina. Argentina have improved slowly but surely in this game. They have improved massively going forward. So I just don't see it. Now, scoring tactics are defensive tenacity, press a bit, pass to Messi, and hope for the best. Pretty much. It's basically through Messi, and this is why I think that it's important that, and make sure you guys vote in the chat for those who are just with the polls and stuff. It looks like I said so far 45 votes for Messi win the World Cup, and so far 96% of you say yes. So fair play. Scaloni tactic to defensive tenacity, press a bit, pass to Messi, and hope for the best. Exactly. Well, the reality is that this is probably going to be Messi's last World Cup. And if Messi doesn't win it, he's not going to get a chance. He's going to retire either way. And the reality is that I mean, I guess you'll see what happens. But personally, for me, I don't actually think that if Messi is not on his Argentine time, they will struggle. So this to me is they're not going to produce a guy like Messi again. They're not. They're not going to produce a guy like Messi again. So it's important, at least the way that I see it, it's important that they actually win this World Cup, because Argentina will suffer, I think, the next World Cup. They're not going to get another Messi. So they're going to suffer in this one. They're going to suffer quite a bit. So they got to win it, is what I'm saying. Sirkan Sismanoglu, if I pronounce that right. Messi, GOAT, from the world. I can't hate, guys. I cannot hate this dude. At the end of the day, like I'm not what's the word? Or make sure to subscribe if you're new, guys. By the way, I've got 100 from watching, guys. Hit that subscribe button, please. It only takes 2 seconds, and consider becoming a member of the channel if you want to. So, but yes, it certainly goes a long way. So please hit that subscribe button. And yeah, continue watching on. Anyway, yeah. So I can't hate. I can't hate. I can't hate. Idiot, if you're ready for love me to give me the Ballon for nothing, I'm real. Fair enough, bro. Fair. Hamadan Ahmed says Morocco's game style will be different. Just watched him. So what do you mean? Do you mean in a sense that Morocco will? I mean, I know that Morocco and France. There's obviously a big. I won't say rivalry, but a big. There's politics and emotion, stuff like that there. And the thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if Morocco did beat France. They can beat France. There's no doubt about that. But the reality is that I just don't think that Morocco can beat Argentina. Not this Argentina side of how they've improved, because at the end of the day, it will come down to who wants it more. And even though the Moroccans have a lot of support there, the Argentines, the amount of I was like, whoa, look at how many, compared to, like, just think about it. Like, compared to, I mean, I know, like, Croatia, example, there's only 4 million people there. So, it's difficult. But the amount of people that traveled, Argentinians that traveled all the way to Qatar, like the stadium, like the South Americans, like, love their football. They traveled so far, Brazilians, Argentinians, etc., to watch these guys compared to the European teams. So they are going to have support. Now, whether they can deal with the pressure of support, I don't know, but clearly they can. And it will come down to who wants it more. And ultimately, I think that Argentina will want it more. Because I think for Morocco, it would be kind of like nice if they wanted it. But at the end of the day, it's more like, well, we've got to the final already. We've got to the final. We got there. That's an achievement itself. With Argentina, it's like we need to win it for Messi, for Argentina, for our country. He is now the GOAT. He is now, you can make an argument, surpassed Maradona in the fact that he's delivered the World Cup, the CLs, the assists, everything, the achievements. He becomes that. He definitely becomes that. It's definitely a conversation. I always say I can't stand him. I have criticized Messi quite a bit. I have definitely criticized Messi quite a bit from my own perspective. But at the end of the day, you've got to appreciate a masterclass. And that was a absolute total masterclass. So, what can I say? Shout out to Julian Alvarez, by the way. I mean, I'll quickly just go to the lineups here. Yes, obviously, you're playing the 4-4-2. Alvarez is your number 9. Almost like Messi is playing behind Alvarez. The Paredes, obviously the poor Fernandes and McAllister, who's been really, really good as well. Again, the importance of a number 9, a consistent and good number 9. And Julian Alvarez is a bench player for Manchester City. He's currently on the bench for Manchester City. And at the end of the day, this guy is coming in clutch. Like, massively, he's coming in clutch. So, Pep has a conversation. Pep has a conversation to be had. Pep has got to be like, well, actually, hang on for a second. Do I still stay with Haaland, or do I give Alvarez a chance? Do I play both? Because if Pep can get Alvarez cooking, then the league is done, by the way. Because the Premier League is restarting next week, for those who don't know. We cover a lot of, obviously, it's international football stuff, but we cover a lot of football. And at the end of the day, I don't know who. I don't know who Pep's going to play with. I don't know who Pep's going to play with. But I think that he should. Alvarez probably deserves a chance. But it is essentially what I'm saying is, like, it is frightening the fact that City have Alvarez and Haaland as attackers, and they've not clicked yet. Because we all know that Bernardo Silva, Diaz, Cancelo, De Bruyne, all those guys who have had flops of tournaments will click under Pep. You know, it just is what it is. Costin Mardora says Ronaldo's not even close. Let's be honest. Yeah, it's. I mean, I will say that in Ronaldo's defense, he's obviously older, and you know, did he have the quality of player in that Portugal team? I think it's two things. I think the first thing is that have the Portugal teams been of the same quality as Argentinian teams? That's the first thing. The second thing is like the Portuguese manager Santos is just not good. He's a defensive brick. That's what he is. He's a defensive brick. So I think the managerial tactics as well haven't helped him, you know. And then now you're trying to play to him, you know. They benched Ronaldo. He didn't play against Morocco. They still lost. You know, Santos didn't have a clue. So I don't think you can blame the internationally all on me. And also, I give respect to Ronaldo for at the very least, you know, playing in multiple different leagues, in the Premier League, in La Liga, in Serie A. You know, so I give him that. I give him that. You got to give him that at least. Ayomade says, I agree. Thank you very much. Ilias says, who is the best top soccer until that will be. We can't have that discussion until after the World Cup. We can't have that discussion until after the World Cup. SMB says, RDS, what was Messi dud? What was Messi's degree of difficulties during this World Cup run? Yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, like for me, that's why the final is important. That's why the final is important, because if the final is against France, then okay, Croatia, I thought might be that dud in terms of difficult team, but they weren't at the races today. And I think that penalty killed them off. Netherlands, I didn't really expect. I thought the thing is, I think the disappointing thing for me is that this was supposed to be Argentina versus Brazil. This semi-final was supposed to be Argentina versus Brazil and probably France versus Spain in the semis. That's what it was supposed to be built up, or Portugal versus England or Spain or whatever. That's not what happened, unfortunately. You know, so you know, if it would have been Argentina versus Brazil, I don't even know what happened in the game. And I hate the fact that it wasn't Argentina versus Brazil. No respect to Croatia, they played well, they did, but I would have much rather for the semi of Argentina versus Brazil, because then we would have seen, in my opinion, what Dressy is truly. He still delivered today, especially baptized Giovedal, the defender. But you know, against Brazil, it would have been, if he had sacrificed Brazil and then going to the World Cup, I'd be like, you just whoa. So now for me, it's going to be the final, and if it's France, we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. Santos is, yeah, he's not good. Emmanuel Stewart 4 says, I know many players and footballers, but this is an alien La Polga. Messi 10L. The man is great minds at one head in football. I like what he's doing. Yeah, 100%. There is, I don't really know what you can say about Lionel. It's going like Lionel. I don't know what you can say about him at this point. I really don't. I mean, looking at the poll, which I think has had 153 votes. Shout out to you guys. 86% of you say that Messi will win the World Cup. 86% of you say that Messi will win the World Cup. Hold on, Nigerians. Aboke Genogan says Messi 8th Ballon d'Or loading. Mark my words, guys. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I mean, if Messi, yes, he will. He will. I can't think of anything that will. The only thing that could potentially stop a Messi Ballon d'Or is if Real Madrid win a treble and Benzema is top scorer. or Modric is like really involved. I don't know. That's the only thing. The only thing that could potentially rival a Ballon d'Or for Messi for this World Cup would be a treble from some team. Whether that's Real Madrid, it could be Manchester City, for example. If maybe Alvarez or De Bruyne or something, but a treble from one of those teams that might rival it. But if that doesn't happen, Messi's getting his 8th Ballon d'Or. He's getting it, especially if he helps PSG, which get through, which is increasingly likely given the fact that Manuel Neuer is now injured for the rest of the season. So Bayern probably are looking down the exit door. When Croatia beat Brazil, I know it's Argentina will win today. Yeah. Just to keep the stack. Nah, come on. I would still say Holland are tricky, organized side, and Croatia consistent and violence. Nice. There is some dud. Yeah. No, I think it's the man of the competition. I think it's more just the fact that obviously they're difficult tricky sides. I think it's just the fact that, if I'm honest, I wasn't actually impressed with the Netherlands in the group stage at all. And I was only like, oh wow, when they turned up against the USA and started to play football. And to be fair to them, they did come back with spirit against Argentina, so I give them that. So, and they only beat them on penalties, so it is what it is. And Croatia were a difficult one because you're right. I think they've got the tenacity, got them the spirit. But in retrospect, they did finish second of that group, having beaten. They didn't beat Morocco, they didn't beat Belgium, they beat Canada, which everyone did. They didn't beat Japan in normal time. They beat them on penalties, and Japan scored first. They didn't beat Brazil in normal time. They had one shot on target. They beat them on penalties. So they're tricky, but it wasn't like they actually delivered anybody, if that makes any sense. That's why I say I think France will be the trick that I think will be an interesting. France will definitely be an interesting test, I think. But that's my personal opinion. I said today to my friend, bet Argentina will win 3-0 and Messi will score a pen. Which I said today to my friend, bet Argentina will win 3-0 and Messi will score a pen. And did you get 500 euros, man? Jeez. If that's true, Ilya, if you got 500, I want a super chat to this channel. You're a long member, so I want a super chat to this channel if you got 500 euros, man, and your friend. But fair enough, your friend got it. After losing the first game, Messi's went up tenfold. Mexico and Poland were hard to beat. Yeah, no, I agree. This is the thing. Whatever happens, but I still think he has to win the World Cup. He has to. Messi still has to win the World Cup. If he wins the World Cup, I genuinely think there's no debate. It doesn't win the World Cup, then there's still a potential debate. Still 100 plus you watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. It goes a long way. Please subscribe, smash that like button, and get involved if you can. Like we're doing obviously this live stream. There's basically 2 more live streams until the World Cup is over, man. Jeez, it's almost over, but love covering the football. If Mbappe wins the World Cup, he could. Yeah, if Mbappe wins the World Cup and PSG do well, he could get it. He'll have to, because it's a France award, so he'll definitely get it. Although I do think that Giroud should deserve some respect and love, because I personally, for me, unlike Messi, I don't think Mbappe has had that good of a tournament so far. We'll see what he does against Morocco and in the final, but so far, I don't think he's had that great of a tournament. I think Giroud has had a better tournament, in my personal opinion, than Mbappe. There's a lot, I think, depending on it. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, sorry. Ilya, World Cup isn't for Ballon d'Or, it's to win titles in the league. I think World Cup is part of it, because Messi got the Ballon d'Or recently because of Copper. So I think they do include it. Ilias, not me, Radosh, it's my friend. Vilton, man, Vilton. Messi's gonna win it, man. Yeah, it's see the Wilton. Just you got to see you got to see the title, man. You got to see the title of this stream. I've already accepted it, and I can't hate. I've already accepted it because he's won it. He is, in my opinion, he's won it. He's already won it. I don't know. I generally don't know because especially if Morocco win, he Argentina beat Morocco in the final, and he gets it. He wins it, and then it's over. It's over, and you know the achievement potentially pushes him above. You know, in terms of longevity, it puts him above R9, it puts him above Maradona, it puts him above Zidane, potentially puts him above Pele. You know, it is what it is. Save Stockholm. I don't know how. I don't know how. I don't know how. Would you say Azim? Would you say Messi has looked the best on the ice out there so far? Yes, yes. But again, we'll see. It depends on position. So, for example, I do think that like Amrabat from Morocco has been has been criminally underrated. It's just that he's not a big name, so people don't see what he does. But he's been criminally underrated, and also the keeper Bono from Morocco. France, I would say, to be honest, Griezmann has had a pretty good tournament. Griezmann has had a very good tournament, as has Olivier Giroud. Obviously, Croatia are out, but I would have said their keeper and the defender Givaldo before he got destroyed by Messi, and Modric to a lesser certain extent. And obviously, Argentina, you're right. Messi. Messi's been the big guy. I mean, De Paul has been okay. McAllister's been solid. Like I said, the goalkeeper, Emi Martinez has come clutch. But those would be my guys personally. Those would be my guys. Let's have a quick look. 2 seconds, everybody. Let's have a look here. Shout out to Ad Save More Man. Make sure you guys, if you're watching, head over and subscribe to his channel. It goes a long way. Guys, that is true. That is true. He has a. The Pele argument is that quite a few pens. I wouldn't. This is the thing. I wouldn't look at Messi's goals because yes, you're right. They are penalties. I would look more at his contribution. Also, he's been a better penalty taker recently, which is interesting. Like all the penalties he's taken, like he's literally taken and probably smashed it to keep it. So he's learned, unlike before where he was missing penalties and not taking them well. The Pele argument is difficult because of the time period and the influence. Yeah. It's a difficult argument with Pele because of I think the key thing with Messi maybe is just longevity. But you're right. The Pele argument is difficult because I think they're different. You would almost have to divide it into eras. You almost say modern era, post or I would call. I don't want to say modern era because I divide football into 3 eras. Classic, modern, and postmodern. So I think when the postmodern era. So by postmodern era, I mean the systems, the systems, all the money, all that type of stuff like that. So probably from about 2000 on the mid 2000s, what I would define as the postmodern era, and then the modern era of football, I would say anywhere between probably the late 70s to 2000s, and then classic basically before that is kind of my way I divide things. RDS, my attachment to CR7 is making me sad, right? But I can't deny it. If Messi wins this, he's the goal of this generation. Unfortunately, either Messi or CR7 ever surpassed Pele. Yeah. CR7 won't, obviously. He just won't. But yes, it's difficult. And I know, and I can't remember what were your thoughts on the Ronaldo debate. I guess we'll talk about it on the United form, which will be back from next week. I think, yeah, next Monday, United form is back, guys. So stay tuned. Um, but yeah, he's getting it. I already prepared myself, man. He's getting it, and the reality is that he deserves it. Messi deserves it. Simple as. Um, Abakar General Jane says, "Who can be goalkeeper of the season?" Oh, that's a good question, actually. Sorry, get your questions in, by the way, guys. I might actually, let's see. I'll just quickly change because I'll still talk the game, but I'll turn into a kind of a Q&A thing. So right now, I'll end the poll. 189 votes. 85% say Messi will win, and 15% say he won't. Well, those 15% might be Messi haters, but we'll see. Right, so let's have a look. So just start a Q&A in the chat. So just see the GOAT. So I'll just start that here. Right. There you go. I think that's something. Right. Okay. But yeah, anyway, back to the goalkeeping question. As far as I'm concerned about the goalkeeper, I'll just get just before I go, so let me just address some stats here. So 9 shots on target, shots to 12 shots, 7 on target, 2. Again, the possession, 39 didn't have a lot of the ball, 61%. Pass accuracy, Croatia more. 2 yellow cards, 15 fouls, 8 fouls, 0 red cards, 2 corners, 4 corners, 1 offside. So as you can see, although Croatia had most of the possession, they didn't really do much with it. And that's the aim of this. Possession football is dead. Possession football is dead. You need to do something with the ball. And at the end of the day, you need a good number 9 to do something with the ball. Simple as. Now, as for this question, as for goalkeeper of the tournament, I can't really do season because the season isn't over yet. So I'll just focus on the World Cup. And I would say so far, it has to be a cross between the Croatia goalkeeper or Bono from Morocco. Those would be the two. It has to be between those two, in my personal opinion. It can't be it can't be anyone else. Although I big up Emi Martinez. I don't think he's had like a lot to do. I think that you only saw Emi Martinez really come clutch when he had to basically in that penalty shootout. But the others have been clutch consistently, so I give him that. Filthy fellas, he's the GOAT. Argument over, to be honest. Yeah. It's over. It's over. There's not really much else to it than that, to be honest. Now, Pele's ultimate GOAT because of the time period. Most goals, most World Cups, great on the eye test with dribbling and skills and his bad pitch. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like I have to go based on era because I still, you can't compare Pele and Messi. I would say Pele, is your modern era, and Messi is your postmodern era. And obviously you have your pre-100, which is kind of like, before 1960s, so where there was records and stuff like that. But I don't want to dismiss this because the football did exist before the 1960s, hence the sort of classic era football. But it is what it is. You're a hater. Don't get it twisted. He's been great this one, but I look at it as a team effort with Messi as a star compared to Carja, like someone make. Yeah, okay. So I agree. I actually do agree with this comment. Like I said to a lot of people, I don't like this idea when it comes to GOATs or people where they swear when the player does something really good, they're like, "Oh, Messi's the reason why the team won." When a team loses, it's like, "Oh, it was Depaul's fault. Oh, it was Martinez. Oh, it was this, or this, or this, or this." No, you either take all the praise and all the criticism, or it's a team spread thing. You can't do both, in my personal opinion. Sorry, just gonna get a quick drink. I've been talking for, I don't know, goodness knows how long now. It doesn't actually show the time on the top of my screen, which is a bit odd. It usually does that. I don't know why it doesn't show the timer. It's strange. Nah, it's been a carry job. You can't tell me another World Cup. See, what I would say though, to fact, in sorry, I'm sort of agree and disagree at the same time with Factos, is that I do think that if Messi wasn't in this team, Argentina wouldn't have gotten this far. I generally do believe Argentina. I don't think Argentina would have gotten this far. But it isn't just because of him. Like if Martinez, for example, isn't the goalkeeper, I think Netherlands won that penalty shootout, for example. You know, likewise with the Copper. I don't deserve ways to fix a band or ends the World Cup. And I would say a lot of the team has chased and pressed Messi while he walks. And then Messi has been talisman moments. Argentina would definitely not be in the sevens without him. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Bigger, but yeah, Bono was great. Yep, I agree. 46. Oh, thanks. 46 minutes. Okay, it's not now, so that's good. Now, did I have? It says a Q. I've got a Q&A. Is Messi the GOAT? If there's a, but I'll end that. Let me just put up another poll. So I'll just put up another poll. Just for the preview, and then so just as a general thing, who will win? So who would win in a final? France or Argentina? That is going to be the poll. I.e., do you guys think that Messi would beat France in the World Cup final? Because looking like it, that's what it would be like. That's what it would be. Fantasy Fighter says, "Hi, I'm new. Thank you for joining the community, bro. Thank you for joining. See, if you're new, please hit the like button, subscribe. It goes a long way. And if you have any questions, want to get involved, please do. So we've got a lot of new subscribers. So I appreciate you all. I really do. But yeah, get involved in if you can. Yeah. At the end of the day, but is. Mudra Beats, who's on Twitch. Shout out to my Twitch homies. Oh, by the way, I do have a Twitch channel, so make sure that you go. The link's in the description. I might actually post it here. Actually, I do my watch-alongs on the Twitch channel. So if you want to follow me on Twitch or Twitter, then please do. So, please do. Argentina is an average team. No deserve to make this far. Only made this far because of an easy bracket, says Mudra Beats. Yeah, but they did have an easy bracket, but that was by virtue of beat winning their group. It's you can. It's like you can say that, but it's virtue by teams they beat. Like for example, it was supposed to be Argentina versus Brazil. It was supposed to be Argentina versus Brazil, but Brazil bottled it against Croatia. If they hadn't bottled it against Croatia, it would have been Argentina versus Brazil, and you don't know what would have happened. Because then you're going right. They faced. What was it? Who was fate? Like if all the teams had done what they need to do, then it probably would have been Argentina versus Denmark. Then it would have been against the Netherlands, and then it would have been against Brazil, and then it probably would, if they beat that, it'll probably be against France or Spain, etc., which are difficult teams, But you got to get it done, Gids. You got to get it done. You got to get it done. I can't really say anything else. You got to get it done. 2 seconds. Where's the? 2 seconds, guys. I'll put my Twitch channel because I do my watch-alongs on there. So I don't really do a lot of YouTube watch-alongs anymore. So all my watch-alongs will be on Twitch. So I'll just post my Twitch channel there. So if you want to follow my watch-alongs, I'll be doing a watch along for the final. Please follow me on Twitch. I posted a link in the description as well. Fancy Fire says, I just subbed and liked me. Thank you so much, buddy. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. This is a United channel, although I do cover a lot of other football, World Cup, International, Champions League, etc. But I often do a lot of United-based content as well, you know. So, but if there is any content that people would like to see more of, please let me know. I'm here to serve the community and the people. So, yeah, please let me know. If you want to consider being a member, also hit that membership button as well. We've got a lot of membership content as well. For the start, I said Argentina will win the World Cup. I know it's fixed. Did you, Ilya? Murder Beats again on Twitch says it's like all the small teams are beating big teams, paving the way for Argentina so they can get easy wins. Well, I see them not doing that deliberately. I see them not doing that deliberately. I see them doing that because, you know, at the end of the day, a lot of these so-called big teams are not actually big, or they've taken it for granted. You know, I'm not entirely sure, but at the end of the day, like, they're not. It's not like they're going in, but like, right, we have to. I just think the quality between the big and small teams, in quotes, is not as big as people think. I actually think it's a lot smaller now, and it will continue to reduce. A lot of people saying that in the poll that Argentina will beat France. That's interesting. I'm not entirely sure about that, but we'll see. Yeah, not fault. It's TT in Brazil. You can exactly. Yeah, I blame TT in Brazil. It should have been Argentina and Brazil. That would have been a game. Like, I was almost like I felt bad for Croatia, but I was almost kind of disappointed. I was hoping to get at least a close semi. It wasn't even close as soon as Argentina scored. At least with Argentina and Brazil, you'd have seen passion, aggression, fights between both teams. You didn't see that here. You didn't see that here at all. You just didn't see that here at all. I just think that, yeah, it's a bit annoying, you know, but it is what it is. If Spain won against Japan, brackets would have been more balanced. Yes. Yes, I think, yeah, because I knew they would have gone into the thing, yeah. But again, they didn't beat them for a reason, apparently. And you saw that because they lost to Morocco. So if Spain couldn't beat Japan, if Spain couldn't beat Morocco, you know, they weren't going to beat Japan either, were they? All the good teams got to the other side. Only Brazil was the big team on Argentina's side of the brackets, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm sorry, but I assume it will be most of Ronaldo fanboys saying that Argentina had an easy draw if they win this World Cup. No. I don't even necessarily think it was easy per se. Croatia and Netherlands weren't easy. And whoever they face in the final won't be easy as well. They just got it done. And if they face France in the final, it's not going to be an easy game. The last time France played Argentina in the World Cup, France... Well, it was actually... What was it? Was it 4-3, 4-2? Someone remind me in the chat. What was the score? All I remember is Pavard's amazing goal in that game, and Messi and Argentina going home at the round of 16. And then Mbappe going to win his first World Cup. Morocco should reach finals, even though I want them to now. I want France so that Argentina get an undeserved. Morocco should reach finals, even though I wanted them to. Now I want France to get an undeserved World Cup win, so they don't get undeserved. As even though they don't get an undeserved World Cup win, I think France will beat Morocco regardless. I cannot. Is there a world where Morocco can beat Argentina? I just can't see it. If Morocco beat Argentina, it could possibly be the greatest footballing moment in history. It could be on the big stage where we're talking about Leicester winning the PL, Greece winning the Euros, okay, but Morocco winning the World Cup, given the team, because you got to think about it. Morocco to win the World Cup, if they won it, they'd have beaten Belgium, they'd have beaten Spain, Portugal, France, and then Argentina. That if Morocco were to somehow do it, That would be the greatest, I think, the greatest moment in football history. The greatest achievement in football history. If Morocco were able to do it. You can't, I don't think you can get any as a Morocco and where they're ranked to beat all of those European teams and Argentina to win it. And Messi, I couldn't consider Messi a GOAT if Argentina lost to Morocco. I couldn't. If they lost to France, yeah, they're shame because they got qualities, but against Morocco, I couldn't. I would have to say that he was a bottle job, because that's your chance. That's your chance, and you blow it that way. Nah. Sorry, mate. Oh, come on. This isn't CR7. This isn't CR7. Spain should have been on Argentina's side of bracket. Only Brazil, Spain, and Japan win. Well, they say that they didn't let Japan win, but at the end of the day, that's on Luis Enrique and the managers. It's on them. It's on them. If they'd beaten Germany, it wouldn't have been a problem. Like, don't blame Japan. Blame Spain for not beating Germany. If Spain had beaten Germany, they would have topped the group regardless. But they didn't do that. They decided to just be nonsensical. But it is what it is. What if Morocco wins tomorrow? I'm scared. Well, we'll see. Sorry, I'm saying Modra. It's Murder Beats, bro. Sorry, buddy. It's Murder Beats. I'm neither a Ronaldo fan or Messi fan. I'm talking about Argentina. They are an average team. They need to prove and beat the big teams to win. No. I agree. But that's what I'm saying. That, like, whatever happens, they're going to face the big team in the final. They're going to face. I don't think. And this is the thing. But this is the thing, though. It's not necessarily. It's about getting it done at the end of the day. It's about GID. It's about GID. It's about getting it done. Because I don't think France have been that great either. I don't think Argentina have been that, but they got it done. I thought England were much better than France in the second round, but they got it done. France, so you don't have to. I think there's a misconception that you have to play the best and beat the best to win a tournament. You don't. Just look at the Champions League, but you have to win. You have to get it done. And the reality is, a lot of these big teams, with maybe the exception of England, because England France was fairly close. Portugal should have beaten Spain, they didn't. Portugal should have beaten Morocco, they didn't. Spain should have beaten Morocco, they didn't. Brazil probably should have beaten Croatia, they didn't. Germany, big team, should have beaten Japan, they didn't. Belgium, enough said. So a lot of these big teams, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. It is what it is. If Morocco were to do the impossible, that would be a huge thing. Yeah. I don't think it will happen, but it would be. I don't know how Argentinians or Messi could recover from it. Like I said, it would be the greatest moments in football history because you're the first African team to win the World Cup. And all the countries you beat to win it, and obviously beating Messi's Argentina. I don't know how Argentina football would recover from it. I don't. RDS, but this is what's already France. Yeah, they can get arrogant, but they have experience. A lot of these players played in that World Cup final 4 years ago. Mbappe did. I think Rabiot did. Or did he? I'm not sure. Giroud definitely did. Griezmann definitely did. Varane definitely did. Lloris definitely did. All those guys have played in that's the thing about France to me. It's like, although France have been average, why I'm low-key think that people shouldn't sleep on France is the experience. A lot of the players in that squad that are there have played in the World Cup final 4 years ago. They know what it means. They know how to get it done. They know what to do. Argentina, aside from, I think, Messi, I don't know how many of those players, because was it 2014? I don't know if any of those players, maybe Otamendi, possibly, were playing in that 2014 final. I don't. Today's Buzz, shout out to Buzz, says Morocco will lose bad, like they deserve their time. Well, we'll see, because people said that when they faced Spain and Portugal, and it didn't happen. So we'll see what happens. Eddie, woulda, shoulda, coulda. The real teams are getting it done. Yeah, exactly. Wow, 150. Thank you, Luka. Yep. Thanks for those who stopping by and watching. Even just over 100 people watching. I'm just really I'm surprised. So I really appreciate everyone watching in the chat. Make sure again that you like the vid and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Yeah, get involved. So I really genuinely do appreciate and thank you guys for the love. It goes a long way. Modric beats again. Says, look at the win today. It would have been a lot different if Modric didn't get penalty. So Croatia didn't have to open up and play like how much as they played the entire match. Early goal cost their stats and play styles would have been different if not. Well, of course, yes, I agree with that. But don't you think Scaloni and the Argentina players know that? Don't you think they think, crap, we can't let them control the game, because if they do, the longer they control the game, the harder it'll be for us. So if we can get an earlier goal somehow, by hook or by crook, penalty, whatever, we'll disrupt the flow. So they probably knew that going into the game. At least that's what I think. They more likely not knew what they were doing when they were going into this game. Let's just have a quick look. So yeah, from the 39 votes so far, most of you think that Argentina will win. 70% and 30% for France. I still think people should give France a bit of respect. Like this. I mean, I don't know why people are sleeping on France. Like, they went to the final of the previous World Cup in 2018 and won it, and half of that squad is in this team. Like, why are people sleep? I don't get it. Why are people sleeping on France? It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. I just don't get it. 2 seconds, everybody. Let's have a look. RDS online this week, there was a debate about this Morocco team. One side said they aren't really Moroccan products because they learned the crowds of Morocco, and the other was they were Morocco. Yeah, well, you can't do that. You can't do that because at the end of the day, what do you think about this? Because at the end of the day, what's the line? So is it that you have to have your entire football career and development in one country? So if you don't have your football career developed in one country, you can't, of your nationality, you can't play for that country. I can't buy that argument, because then it's like, well, that's like saying, well, Bale had most of his development in Spain and England, so therefore he can't play for like Wales. We shouldn't play for Wales. He's not really a Welsh kind of like. No, that's nonsense. Of course, it's not. Like, at the end of the day, like, the reality is that in order for you to improve, you have to play with the best and be better than the best, and therefore you have to play in the top leagues in the world, in the top competitions. That's how you be the best, and then you go and bring that back to your country. And the reality is that those guys can't all play for France. There's too much competition. So you're not going to spend the time rotting on the bench waiting for an opportunity to play for France when you can play for your nation, and when it was really a 50% choice anyway. At least that's my personal opinion anyway. I don't think Morocco to lose bad or lose, but now that Argentina made it, if Morocco wins, they might give Argentina an undeserved win. So France should definitely reach finals. Yeah, I mean, you don't know. We'll see. Imagine Morocco defends good against big teams and they get tired in the finals, squeeze an early goal and gives Argentina a free win. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think that's the key thing. It's almost like, what I would say though is that the goal against Portugal gave me hope. The goal against Portugal gave me hope because it told me that, whoa, guys, these guys can cross. You know, Hakimi doing his thing, and Hakimi on that right side, we know Hakimi and Ziyech, if they're fit, are dangerous. Hakimi and Ziyech are dangerous. And if they deliver the right balls into the box, they can cause problems. That's the only thing I would say. Yes, they're going to defend, but they do have a clear plan. And I think Hakimi and a Ziyech overlap can cause Argentina problems if they deliver the right balls. We'll never know. We'll see. I mean, I do think it's a bit unfair because obviously Argentina playing first, and so they will get a day extra rest compared to whoever plays in this game. So there is that. And let's be real, a lot of these Moroccan guys were overlooked as exactly. Amrabat, for example, So I don't use that excuse. That's just haters or jealous people with those excuses. You know, you cannot just talk about blah blah blah. These people played for this team. This people didn't play for that team. You know, behave, be quiet. Actually, be quiet. It annoys me when people use those arguments because they're just not. I don't know. I just don't see any validity in them. My concern is injuries for Morocco. The intensity too much. Yeah, I mean, who was actually injured for the game? If you let me know in the chat, who was actually injured for the Morocco game? Please let me know. I'm curious to see who was injured actually. Let me just bring up the lineups again. Ottomans they didn't have. I think they put their players through. I mean, I'll just make a brief comment. I've been talking about Argentina a lot in this chat, but I've not actually really spoken much about Croatia actually. JS2 Killer says Nkar Messi, Messi, go. I'm sure that is a Messi fan, so shout out to that. For those, like I said, who are watching, if you want to subscribe, want to follow me on Twitch, my Twitch is there. In fact, I might post it in the I'll probably keep the poll on, but it's there anyway for those who want it. I also predicted Morocco to beat France, just like I did against Spain and Portugal. Not even making up, but now I'm scared. Well. Like I said, says the captain is injured, centre back. Yes, he is. He is injured. He is injured. That is that's a difficult one. I mean, they did have injuries before the Portugal game, still managed, so we'll see. Can they still be, if they can be still defensively astute against France, then then I think anything can happen, to be honest. Argentina had Acuna out. Yes, that is true. Just killer. I think that's it. Just killer. I just want to briefly touch on Croatia actually, because whatever you say about, I mean, Livkovic was a fantastic goalkeeper this tournament, and those penalty saves, obviously against Japan and then against Brazil. And just as a keeper, he fumbled. I mean, I don't know what he could have done, to be honest, against Alvarez. He came out, missed the ball. It's difficult. I don't think I can blame him. It's his defense that went in position. But I think he's had a very, very good tournament. Very, very good tournament. So I want to give respect to him. I want to shout out, obviously, Gravdal was probably one defenders of the tournament before he got destroyed by Messi. I think he not got destroyed by Messi. I think people would have said, yeah, defender. But the fact that he got destroyed by Messi on the big stage, a lot of people are going to remember that, as opposed to his performances up until that point. That's which, in my opinion, were absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, Dejan Lovren, who a lot of people, are like, how is this guy still playing football? Dejan Lovren was really solid in this Croatian match. He was very, very solid. So I can't hate. I can't hate. Sorry, give me 2 seconds, guys. I'll be right back. Be right back. Right, we're back. Okay. Quick question. Watching the game, Croatia didn't create anything. They had no critics. Yes, but I think a lot of the game plan was to contain first and to control the game. And when I think that goal conceded, the game plan didn't come out. And at the end of the day, when you're relying on a 37-year-old Modric to create your chances, it's not going to be easy. Getting a lot of Twitch comments, guys. YouTube fam, where are your comments, man? YouTube fam, come on out. Do you think fans are playing a big factor? Because it seems all the Arabs are wearing Morocco jersey in the matches and Argentina jersey in the matches. It's like 90% support for those teams in those matches in the crowd. What I think is that there are a lot of South Americans in Qatar. So yes, I think that fans have certainly helped Morocco. It's like a home game almost. Like I think the stadium is going to be like full 50-50 of Argentines and Latinos. It's basically like Latinos versus Arabs. That's basically what this final is going to be. Latinos versus Arabs. That's the gist of it, really. Unai and Amrabat are playing like they are possessed in Morocco team. Saw that exactly. Although Sass is injured. The Croatian goalkeeper and Guardiola did well this tournament, and I can see going to big team this January. Yeah. I think this January transfer window is going to be very, very interesting for a lot of teams because it's weird. It's like it's in the World Cup, and I think a lot of people have a lot of players have done themselves good, and if they want to anchor for a January move, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we could anchor for a January move, could potentially move, and see. And see what happens. You don't know. You don't know. But like I said, we'll see what happens. Guys, we're almost at 3,280 subs. If you are watching, please hit that subscribe button. Only 4 subs away to 3,280. So please, only 4 subs. Smash that sub button. It really would really make a big difference. Hopefully, I'd love to get to, by the end of this tournament, I'd love to get to 3,300, 3.3K subs by the end of this tournament. That would be great. Ideally, 5K subs sometime soon. But we'll see. We'll get there. We'll see what happens. Right. Let me just finish my speech on Croatia, guys. Yeah. Modric and Kovacic were sound. Especially Kovacic. Even Brozovic was really good in this tournament, and I think that shout out to Luka Modric. This is obviously his last World Cup. He did what he could for his country. He's taken his country to a final last World Cup, and then obviously a semi-final. This one, I think they reached a previous semi-final in the 2000s, if I recall. Although Modric wasn't there, I don't think, and obviously the Euros to a possessive Spain side. So. They did what they can, and they were fantastic. Now, I mean, I can't really say much about the attacking line. I mean, Perisic was okay, but I don't think I can really say much about the forwards. If I'm perfectly honest, I think a lot of the praise, to be honest, has to go for the defense and these 3 guys here, and with the exception of probably Kovacic as well. But overall, I think the Croats can hold their hands high. They fought till the end to their capacity. And they did what they need to do. It's as simple as that. He's been linked with Chelsea City. Oh, has he? Where the beat says, I disagree. I think it'll be 80% Morocco's sport if they reach the finals. I don't know how the tickets are split, but I definitely know that in all the Argentine games and the Brazil games, like the whole crowd was just full of a lot of the crowd was full of their supporters. Like in the games of other European teams and stuff, like the crowds were barely full. There were quite a few England fans there, but I didn't notice many French fans. I didn't notice many Dutch fans, Aussie fans, etc. in fairness, like fair enough to England fans, man. There were fair few England fans there, but most European teams, I barely saw much support, to be honest. But South Americans and Africans and Asians, far more support. Far more. It almost was like Europe, in quote, boycotted the Qatar World Cup, but you know, it is what it is. Bono might be better than the Croatia goalkeeper. I heard he was the best goalkeeper in the league. Yeah, the Sevilla keeper Bono. Bono is very, very good. And I think that if they get into this final, it will be because of Bono. If they get it done, if they get into the final, it will definitely be because of Bono. 100% will be because of Bono, because I just don't think that what's the word? I don't think that that you get anywhere without a keeper of that caliber. In my personal opinion, I just don't think you do. Just for Killer says they've had six times knockouts, 3 times in the semifinals, won the final. Impressive surprise. No one talks about them more. Yeah, exactly. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Obviously, we're speaking about Croatia now. I've given my praise to Argentina, but we're just speaking about Croatia now. And you have a point. You have a point. Like anytime a tournament comes around, it's always okay. We talk about Brazil and Argentina and France and Germany and Spain, and then the dark horses like Belgium or the Netherlands, so the predominantly European teams. But what we don't talk about is Croatia at all. And it's like the record that you said is actually very, very good. But for some strange reason, we're like, oh, Croatia. What are Croatia doing? What are Croatia doing? Why are they here? Why are Croatia doing what they need to do? It's strange. It's strange. Make sure you like the vid, people, as well, or follow me on Twitch if you're, the usual guys. Seconds. Is Bono getting into big club after this World Cup? Why would they go for the Croatia keeper? I don't know what his thing at Sevilla is. I imagine he doesn't mind staying at Sevilla. The other thing as well is that I think people need to relax when it comes to. It's always difficult when you compare World Cup performances to league performances, because league performances are week in, week out. You're watching a game week. A World Cup is only a short period of time, a snapshot. Like Ochoa, for example, has been a very good World Cup goalkeeper, but domestically, league-wise, like he's somewhat average. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily go based on that, really. Morocco's defense has been good this tournament. To concede 1 goal tournament and not even to push your team was own goal. Yes, exactly. So Morocco's defense is going to be their biggest asset, I think, going forward. And if they use that, if they utilize that, then fine. But if they don't, it is what it is. But if Morocco are going to get anything from this tournament, it's going to be the defense. It's going to be Bono coming clutch, and it's going to be Hakimi and Hakim Ziyech doing the damage. If they can utilize those guys, then you never know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, exactly, guys. Exactly. Come on, how many people watching stuff like that, guys? Come on, at least 50. How many guys? Jeez, just participate. Hit that like button, man, guys. It doesn't cost you anything. And hitting that sub button doesn't cost you anything as well. It really, really doesn't. So, but it does help the channel and the algorithm, and it helps to sort of filter like what content that I create and I deliver sort of going forward, which is key. I'm probably going to have to round off in about the next 5 minutes. So if anyone has any specific questions to ask me, please let me know. But yeah, I probably will round off in a bit because we've been talking about Messi for a long, long time. But he has confirmed today that he pretty much is the GOAT, and Argentina, are definitely to be feared. But let's be honest, as Mother Beats, Brazil should have won. That's the problem with Brazil. They're an emotional team, not very efficient and professional team. They thought they won. Forgot there's still 3 minutes left. Yeah. Unfortunately, Brazil and that goal by Neymar was fantastic. You know, that was a winning goal. That should have been a winning goal. And yet Fred, you know, a little bit of a liability there, but you know, they got too emotional about it. Way too emotional, and they should be there. Like I said, it should have been Brazil versus Argentina. I am gutted because Brazil haven't faced Argentina in World Cup in like ever, or well, certainly not in recent memory that I can remember. And this was a chance, and it would have been great, you know. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Right. Some big players, yeah, I definitely need to head off. I've been going live for a bit more than an hour, I think, or so. So yeah, I'm probably going to bounce in a few minutes actually. I probably need to eat some food actually. Some big young players from the tournament: Bellingham, yes, Godil, Julian Alvarez. I'm sure there's more, but there were freaky players that stood out for me. Yeah, that's fair. City, I've got a dime with Alvarez, man. They've got a dime with Alvarez. Bellingham has probably probably increases his price tag somewhat. So I guess we'll see what happens. And then you know you've got obviously Guardiola and what he's doing, you know. So we'll definitely see what happens. Eddie's football waffle. Are you doing any call-ins to Morocco France reaction? Possibly. I'm gonna be out till about approximately 9 o'clock. I won't be back until probably half. I'll probably doing something similar to this. Will be like quarter to 10, 9:45. While I'll be doing another show in, and then yeah, I'll be doing a live reaction from 9 to 5 again, from 9:45 p.m. BST tomorrow, like essentially around this time, and I'll be doing that tomorrow as well. So yeah, please remind me of your Morocco fan prediction. Morocco fan prediction for the final. I missed it. Yeah, that's a good thing actually. Just getting his last comments in before I bounce. I think. Did I even do it, France? I think that France will just have, in this instance, France will just have a bit too much for Morocco. France will just have a bit too much for Morocco, so I'll give it, but there won't be like a lubrication. So I'll give it 2-0 to France. And the final, France versus Argentina, if I'm honest, I can't call it. I really can't call it. I cannot give that prediction. I don't want to jinx it as well, but more importantly, I just can't call it. I cannot call that. But I think that France will get the dub tomorrow. Just Killer says, I feel like Brazil are in brackets joke team and don't take things seriously. I mean, they were dancing around when the game wasn't even finished, and that's why they conceded with 3 minutes to go. Brazil thrive for emotion, and they just lost all the emotion when they conceded the Christian goal that caused them to lose the penalty shootout. Yeah, I think that's the thing. I mean, I just love the way that Brazil play football. I love it. I love it. You know, the dancing, the thing. I love that. I love street football. You know, that's the type of football that I want to see, the individual trick stuff. But you have to mix that with a degree of professionalism. And you can make an argument that that's probably what your captain's supposed to do. And whether that's Thiago Silva or Neymar, whoever it is, it's your responsibility to do that. You know, like I remember when Daniel James, because I'm a United fan, scored his goal at Old Trafford, and I think United were, I think it was 1-1. Yeah, I think they'd equalized. I think it was 1-1, and you know, Martial and Rashford like, just come back here, come back. We need to come back and get into the game. You know, like, yes, the equalizer. You know, I mean, yes, I think it's different if you're celebrating an equalizer and it's like the last minute of the game and you've got like a minute left and stuff, and it literally is. There's nothing else. Then it's fine. But when you still got some substantial time left, it's not ideal. Now, yeah, probably, yeah. I actually think that this will harm PSG because I think that whatever happens, you know, because you've got a situation where, you know, one of the players in PSG has a World Cup, one of the top dons, Messi, Neymar, or Mbappe. And I just have a feeling that jealousy, potentially, of that World Cup will hinder PSG, because you've got Messi with a World Cup, you know, and well, maybe not so much Mbappe, because I guess Mbappe already has the World Cup and Mbappe's young. I'm not sure about Neymar. It might hurt him. But I definitely think if Mbappe wins it, then Messi and Neymar, yeah, it's over. Those guys aren't renewing their contract with PSG. They're gone. They're gone. They're gone. They're gone. Yeah, Hakimi as well. Yes, you're right. It could affect him. That's what Brazil get celebrating goals through celebration. Yeah, it just wasn't ideal. Wasn't ideal. Right, guys, I've got to bounce. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And thank you for my analysis. Thanks everyone who's watching the chat on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube. Really appreciate it. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to Adele Studio. Follow me on Twitch if you're watching on Twitch. Obviously, I've got other channels below, Red Marvel and Red Studio Extra. Subscribe to those if you can as well. Thank you for getting involved. Really appreciate it. I'll be live tomorrow, 9:45 BST, doing a post-match reaction to Morocco-France game as well. So stay tuned for that. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers.